So, do you ever feel like you're doing everything you're supposed to with your money? You know, you're budgeting, you're saving, you're being careful, but you still feel like you're just running on a financial treadmill, not really getting anywhere? Well, if you feel stuck, you are definitely not alone. And in this explainer, we're going to dive into the single biggest reason why that happens. Right? You track every single dollar, you stick to that budget like glue. But when you look back at the end of the year, it just feels like the needle has barely moved. It is so frustrating. But what if I told you the problem isn't your discipline? Not at all. And that's actually the good news here. Your hard work isn't the problem. The real issue is a fundamental mismatch, a misunderstanding of what financial stage you're in. You're using the right tools, for sure, but you might be using them for the wrong job. And this, right here, is the heart of it. This one idea shines a light on a really costly confusion that keeps millions of people feeling stuck. See, wealth building and wealth management are not the same thing. They don't solve the same problems. And trying to use one when you really need the other, well, that's just a recipe for going nowhere fast. So let's talk about that stuck feeling for a second. It's a very real thing, and it usually comes from one simple mistake: playing defense when you should be on offense. Getting this distinction is so important. Think of it like a sports game. Wealth building is your offense. It's designed to score points, to increase your lead. Wealth management, on the other hand, is your defense. It's all about protecting the points you already have on the board. Now, you can imagine how hard it would be to win a game by only playing defense, right? Okay, so let's get crystal clear on what these two things actually are, because I promise you, understanding this difference could completely change your entire approach to money. First up, wealth building. This is your financial offense. It is all about increasing the amount of money that flows in. This is the active, creative part. We're talking about generating more cash flow, whether that's through new skills, a better career, or building real assets. The entire question shifts from how do I save more to how do I create more? And then you have your defense, wealth management. This is what you do after you have something substantial to protect. This is where budgeting, saving, and smart investing come in to preserve the wealth you've already built. The whole goal here is to keep your money from leaking away or shrinking.
Just look at the contrast here. It's night and day. Building is all about creating, while managing is about controlling. Most people get stuck because they are laser focused on asking the wrong question for their stage. They're asking, how do I protect what I have? When they should be obsessed with the question, how do I create more?
Now, this confusion isn't just some small mix-up. It has real, tangible costs that can set your financial progress back for years or even decades. And this just says it all, doesn't it? It's kind of an uncomfortable truth. You can create the most beautiful, color-coded, detailed budget in the entire world. But if your income is too low, all you're doing with meticulously managing scarcity. You're putting all your energy into protecting a small pile of money, which completely ignores the real problem. There just isn't enough coming in to begin with. This mismatch just sucks you into a really dangerous cycle. First, you get this sense of false progress. You feel busy managing your money, but your actual net worth isn't going up. That then leads to scarcity thinking, where your brain switches from looking for opportunities to just avoiding loss. And ultimately, all of this delays wealth, because that magic of compounding can't really get to work if there's nothing significant for it to compound in the first place. Okay, so if the answer isn't just earn more money, then what is it? Well, it's about making a crucial shift from just having an income to actually building systems. This is such a critical distinction. Look, a high-paying job is great. It gives you income. But income usually relies on you trading your time for money. A system, on the other hand, is something that creates value even when you're not actively working on it. This is the secret sauce right here. A system decouples your earnings from your time. You build it once, and it can pay you over and over again. It can scale up without you having to work more and more hours. That is the fundamental difference between just making a living and actually building wealth. And you know, these systems aren't some abstract idea. They are real, tangible assets that you can build. A business that runs with a team, that's a system. A digital course that sells while you sleep is a system. A portfolio of investments that kicks off cash flow is a system. The goal is to create assets that work for you instead of you always having to work for them. So, how do we pull all of this together into a real strategy? Well, the solution isn't to throw management out the window. It's about putting it in its proper place in the sequence. This is the order that works. Step 1,
You build your income. You need fuel for the fire. Step 2, you use that extra income to create systems, turning your cash flow into real assets. And then, and only then, once you've built something substantial, do you shift your primary focus to managing and protecting it. It really boils down to that simple mantra: build first, manage second. When you follow this order, wealth stops feeling like a game of luck and starts becoming the predictable result of a deliberate strategy. So, the final question is really for you to think about. Where is most of your financial energy going right now? Are you trying to budget and save your way to wealth, or are you actively out there building something that will one day be worth managing? The answer to that question, well, it could change everything for you.